Get your mic back here.
Hey, what's up? What's up? I'm Metaphoric. How's everyone doing today? Yeah, what's up, man? So this first poem I'm gonna do for you guys is called "Flowers from My Ribcage." So it comes from like a time when I was in a toxic relationship. So I know some of you can relate to that. But here it goes. She wanted a bouquet from the flowers that bloomed from my ribcage as she planted red flags upon the soil of my heart like red roses that suffocated for the sun. She wanted a matrimony that was holy, because holy Bibles waved at her from pews, thinking she'd absorb their words, but within the minds of poinsettias and orchids, she failed to realize that lilies could blow away dandelions. I watched as the breeze flowed through her hair, and I saw the scars that she endured while trying to love herself. I saw the termites with cavities and ants in formation, trying to climb her and eradicate her existence, but she stood strong like the oak tree, rooted deep within the crust of this globe that spins on a teacher's desk the day she allowed the alphabet to escape except for you and I. And the words is spelled toxic. But I am hoping to cultivate the land that was once stabbed with the red flag, and the wedding bands requested, well, I returned that to the window where she wished upon it while window shopping. Thank goodness this was just something I saw on the television. Because if it happened to me, then I would be blooming in dark rooms where my petals weep and the hue of my green stem turn white in shock because she is still here. Wanting a bouquet from the flowers that bloom from my ribcage, and I rip off the petals for her one by one, pondering the question. Mental freedom not. Mental freedom not. Thank you. So this next poem is actually a brand new one that I wrote. It's called My Craziest Imagination. So here it goes. I am just a memory, a Kodak on beige walls, helium-filled paper airplanes and floating paper balloons, somewhat of an optical illusion where I get trapped within the minds of silly buffoons with butts out like baboons. Within a mental zoo, riding Ferris wheels in Kalamazoo, at times my rantings aren't articulated, making no sense. Lacking these 30 cents I use to put into the penny press machine at a theme park. With helium-filled paper airplanes and floating paper balloons, I mowed a lawn but left a singular dandelion one snowy afternoon. It smiled at me while I smirked, picked it from the earth and presented it to the prettiest of all girls. You see, they like roses in vases, orchids with faces, poinsettias with braces, daisies getting off on chases, and tulips within those glass cases, and those daffodils with those warm embraces, and sometimes just a whole bouquet covering all of the bases. And I covered mine as I slid into second. Once upon a time on the moon, then boom, a grand slam, striking a comet with the silver spoon, with helium-filled paper airplanes and floating paper balloons. You see, the yellow tincture of the sun was buried deep into my pores as a grass on my arm stood in excitement. And I walked down the timber, eating the sap from every crack in the pavement. I saw myself one day stuck within the mirrored walls and told my reflection, hey, I am just a memory, a Kodak on beige walls, a child lost, playing with helium-filled paper airplanes and floating paper balloons. Thank you. I got one more for you guys, and this one's kind of like, I like to write about abstract things, you know, and put a bunch of metaphors in my poems, so that's why my name is Metaphoric. So, like I was introduced, you know, I opened up for Brandon Leak, the winner of America's Got Talent. So here's one called Drowning in Thought. One day while I was walking on a gray, filthy sidewalk, I looked down at the black ocean and saw a fish staring at me. He was suffocating for air and seemed to have been there for quite some time, because I saw those dry scales and lips starting to form, those sunspots dance in their triumph of hurting the poor fish. So I unzipped my cranium, picked up the fish, blowing off all the lint and hair and dust off its body, while the fish slowly gasped for a breath. I opened up my cranium and threw the fish in. allowing it to swim in my brain all day. Then I went and had coffee in a porcelain goblet and some breakfast on a platter made from rocks. I went about piercing the rest of gravity with my body as I walked and waited between both the walkway and the ocean. I heard it was called a street, but all it did was run down the boulevard as a river. Once I got to my destination, a tree house riding on cement blocks, I unzipped my cranium once again to release the fish, but it was gone. It had disappeared. I found it wrapped in seaweed, encircled with rice, ready to be consumed by unsuspecting scholars. "Don't eat my fish," I shouted. But they couldn't hear me, so I tried again this time. Bubbles surfaced to my ceiling and everything seemed fascinating, yet familiar at the same time. I saw that same tree over and over, the same stone a few seconds ago, the same fingers tapping my walls, causing me to freak out, causing me to realize I am just a fish, and always have been, praying for the day to be a shark, but I guess those are just pipe dreams of my craziest thoughts. Thank you.